Welcome back, folks. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary, and you are live on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. And today we can have a discussion on happening at the Euros and also in regard to the latest transfers that are happening in Indian football. So let's have a conversation. Let's have a discussion and talk about things. But before I come to that, I put out a video earlier today on the decision by the Mizoram Football Association to take what I call a huge step in regard to looking at and trying to weed out age fraud in the local Mizoram football scene. And I see that I personally feel that's a big step to done by the Mizoram Football Association. They have even started an amnesty program for players to come forward and say, you know what, my official birth certificate does not match the date of birth registered in the central registration system of the All India Football Federation. So therefore, a big step by more at the forefront in the fight of age fraud, as others are not very clear, not very sure what they're going to do, what they're going to try and do on this, and therefore, once more, huge salute from my side, at least, to the Mizoram Football Association for this matter and trying to push in the right direction. I think that's the challenge, I guess, they have, and let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. But for me, it's a huge step. It's a big step. It's a positive step that the musician has taken, and hopefully, others will follow suit in the matter. Right, UEFA Euro 2024. What's the latest? We're going to have the Group E matches a little later today, taking on Slovakia and Belgium also in action, and then tonight we've got what am I doing? Let me just go through the schedule before I tell you. Slovakia, Romania, Belgium, as well as which is Group E, and Group F as Georgia versus Portugal and Czech Republic versus Turkey. So that's the matches tonight. And Group E, of course, has this interesting situation of all the Romania, Belgium, Slovakia, and the Ukraine all having 3 points, 1 win, 1 loss after 2 matches. So in theory, for the first time ever, a group could finish with all 4 teams on 4 points. So that could be an interesting one. So let's have a look out to that, whatever happens tonight in that group. Very, very. While in Group F, Portugal are already through. So it's amongst Turkey, the Czech Republic, and Georgia to try and find their way into the knockout stages of the competition. So therefore, that's the latest in that. And if we look at the round of 16 matches already, final, actually there are only 2. That's Germany versus Denmark, which we played on the 29th of June in Dortmund. And earlier that day, it's Switzerland versus Italy in Berlin. So 2 very interesting, exciting matches between neighbors in that bracket. So let's look forward to. All right. Vignesh asks, what's the latest update Indian football? There isn't much per se to talk about when it comes to Indian football, in the sense of saying that there's nothing much from the federation side of things. I said the federation had come out, of course, with its statement. The big thing, of course, today was the announcement of the under-17 probables by the All India Football Federation. Just 1 sec. Sorry. So All India Football Federation has announced Ishfaq Ahmed, who was the coach when the Indian under-16s won the SAF championship, continues as the head coach, and this has been seen as a preparation. The camp starts in Srinagar on the 8th of June for the SAF under-17 men's championship. And it will be played in Bhutan from the 18th to 28th of September. India are in a group with the Maldives and and Bangladesh. So therefore, that's an interesting one. Sort of in host Bhutan, face Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka in Group B, and the squad returns to Srinagar for their camp after that before they go to the FC Under 17 Asian Cup qualifiers, and they're in Thailand. So therefore, yeah, it's an interesting squad. A lot of players who have played at the Under 17 level. So let's hope they are able to perform. And just to quote the India Under 17 head coach Ishfaq Ahmed, he said, "I feel excited by the prospect of coaching these talented bunch of youngsters. Most of these players were playing in the U17 Youth League. The others have been picked up by our scouts. It is good for that the camp will be held in Srinagar. Since the tournament is Bhutan, the boys will get used to playing in high altitude during the camp." Well, that I agree. But again, the final for the AFC Under 17 Asian Cup are in Thailand. So maybe after the Bhutan adventure regarding the SAF U17 Championship, maybe it might have made more sense to move to a hotter climate. Maybe, I don't know. That might be something. So therefore, what happens? Prasenjit says, despite pathetic stream, I am enjoying futsal. Hope some good players emerge, and we also do what Afghanistan did. Prasenjit, I agree with you. What Afghanistan has done is just exceptional, and again, they will be playing in the they will be playing the FIFA Futsal World Cup, not under 17, and that's a big thing for them, and hopefully they will be able to perform at that level. It's a huge step up for the Afghan players, and hopefully, in the Indian team will be able to perform better in the Asian Futsal Asian Cup or AFC Futsal Asian Cup, and maybe achieve something of the same. So therefore, let's see. Deborah, what's your thoughts on Yontural? Yontural, talented player, would be an interesting mix addition to Mumbai City FC, an experienced player. As I've always said, Mumbai City will work to build a squad which is capable of competing at the top. Again, an attacking midfielder. And interesting, of course, he comes from Royce, which is outside of Barcelona. And long time youth player at Barca. Then he was at Arsenal, didn't make it really at Arsenal, never played for the first team, but spent time at Brentford, at Granada, at Rangers, and then of course went on Sorry, connection issues. Riza asks, hi now, what do you think about this under 17 team selection? See, I see a lot of names from Classic Football Academy, which has won the league in the second year running. So therefore, looks good. I haven't seen enough of under 17 football, to be very honest, to be able to have a expert judgment on that. I would have to be able to say, this player, that player needs to be in it, or this player, that player should not be in there. But to me, overall, the team is, looks interesting. How much talent they have, or how much talent they do not have, that's to me, and therefore will be interesting to see if these boys can take us forward in the first of all in the qualifiers to reach the final stage, and from the final stage potentially to the expanded FIFA World at the under 17 level. But to me, very, very clearly is that I feel that we have to build slowly and clearly, and then see what we can do. I have full trust in Ishfaq Ahmed to be able to work together to be able to compete. But I hope that the SAF Championship is going to be a good piece of exposure, that we get far in the tournament, we ideally win the tournament, so that we get at least 4 games, which are competitive games, which are always better than just friendlies. So therefore, for me, forward, and hopefully that would be the right step for us to be able to to challenge other teams, other nations at the continental level. I think that's a very, very important thing for us when I look at the under 17 team, and therefore, it would be very important for us to be able to those things, to achieve those basics. Some of the names, of course, have been there and are not new to the setup. So therefore, if I look at the keepers, Rohit and Suraj, for example, have been there. Not fully inexperienced, but again, not the most experienced squad as well at regard to international level. But again, better this kind of exposure than no exposure at all. So therefore, the hope is that this team can, it's going to be very important for us. Nishant, hi, welcome back. So do you think making turf in every government school can improve our school football system? Nishant, there is a combination of two things. Is how big is the ground? That would be my first question. Are you talking about a 5-a-side, a 7-a-side, or a full 11-a-side ground? That first point to look at. So therefore, for me, that's the most important thing to start off with. The second thing is, what kind of competitions do you have? So turf, yes. If you can maintain a grass ground, even better. I know that in the old days, in Kolkata, we used to play on grass grounds, and they used to actually quite decent. But again, schools had. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. So therefore, let's wait and see. But I think if schools have the ability to have turf grounds, or schools have the ability to have grounds at all to be able to play, that's I think a start. And then you need to have the competition, to able to have a school football system in parts of India, across India, not parts of India, but across India. Sambit, U17 team is blind selection of Manipur and Mizoram team, just like France team. You need to be certain type to be there. Honestly, I don't want to say what it is. Sambit, you've said it, so you can't say, don't want to say it, but you've said it already, and you've written it. It's not only say it, but you've written it. The point here is doubts. to look at whatever is happening at the top level. I think you cannot go down to the lower levels and then, going to bring players up and you're going to give them exposure and then they're going to be able to play for the Indian under-17s. To me, that doesn't work. So if I look at the players who are available, the players who are playing at a certain level, then I would say then these kids are the and therefore for me it's very, very clear that Classic Football Academy has won the under-17 championship twice in a row with all the problems that are there, and you had another academy, Football for Change, for your cookie kids, sort of say, divided. And to me, very, very clearly is that the best have been chosen, and the Mizoram system has also been very, very strong. So therefore, it doesn't surprise me that these kids are in the squad. And if I just go through the squad list, a lot of kids from Classic, but I have Srinidhi in there. I've got BFC in there. I've got the Chandigarh Academy. I've got Minerva in there. So I've got the usual suspects, so to say, in there, right? Reliance Foundation as well. So therefore, I think it's the moment, I think, out of a team, right? So therefore, for me, yeah, it's the choice has been made, and is it the best one? Is it the ideal one? We can discuss that, but I would say that, as I said, I am not so much in depth into the under-17. I would be able to give a fair judgment of that. For that, you, me, or anyone else, so therefore, let's wait and see. Nishant says, I see many kids playing in sand in my state, Rajasthan. Nishant, playing in sand doesn't mean that it's bad. It should be good for your stamina. Maybe your ball skills would be better, because a lot of Brazilian players are very, very good beach soccer players. If you ask Neymar will tomorrow go on a beach and play football. So therefore, it's can be quite positive if you can channelize it in the right way, from getting from a beach, from a sand pitches to proper football fields. I think in certain parts of the country you will play on mud grounds, on clay, and then move on to proper grounds and maybe turfs, and that's something. Let's see. Sports United says, sir, can you tell anything about JFC? They sold all their players to Chennai and Mumbai. Are they trying to be a feeder club? So for me, Sports United, JFC are not showing the intent to be a bigger team at the moment. I mean, with the Tatars as backers, I would have thought that there would be more intent in regard to building a bigger, better team. They won the ISL a few seasons ago under own call, right? I mean, we're forgetting that, but they've since then really, not spent that much of money on their squad, on their team, like other teams have. So therefore, for me, it's a challenge, and yeah, one will have to wait how they can build their squad in the new season. Again, they've stuck with Khalid Jamil, have not tried to bring in another foreign coach, and it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. But again, if you see Chennai FC, of course, Owen Coyle, for a lot of players that he's worked with, that he knows, besides the young talent that he's been trying to attract to the club. I mean, trying to bring in Kian Nasiri, Gurkirat, makes it very, very, so that's a fact. Raisa, any new name on managerial list? Everyone seems to have gone quiet. Raisa, I think there was a first push by a lot of people in the media, or some people tried to do it to others. I think that there will be a lot of names coming out in the next few weeks before, once the whole process is completed. I think we'll be surprised by that final list, maybe a final list of 3, final list of 5 of coaches who will then be called before the manager is sort of finalized. There's some big names in there, but yeah, it's something. Let's wait and see. Sambit says goals more than any Then all other striker except one forward was named in the U17. So how many goals they've scored? There are many deserving ones. Parmjit is there. Samit, as I said, I have not followed enough of under 17 football to have that expert discussion with you or with anybody else. Squad who's defended. I've watched some games. I could tell you which number I liked or not, but I couldn't name you those players, to be very honest. So therefore, I, unlike others, I will not get into discussion in a topic which I don't know. So therefore, if he was deserving, he would have been called. If he's not being called, there must be a reason to it. Reason to why a coach or the scouting department, which is part of it, has not called up a player, be it at junior or senior level. Morali, hello, welcome back. Technical skills lacking, huge issue for Indian football. Only a few players has. Yeah, Morali, we've talked about it in the last few days. So tech is really a problem. Amal Shaji, is there any update on the Kerala Blasters Football Club? Amal, at the moment, none. The question, I guess, is at the Blast. The big question is, can they retain Vibin and can they retain Jeekson? I think that's the big question. With Apuya gone, two potentially could be targets for Mumbai City FC. East Bengal has also been linked to Vibin for a while, so therefore let's wait and see what happens. So I think that's the first one. Can the Blasters avoid players leaving, and then they can see what happens. Sir, Nishant, sir, do you think there is a difference in AFC license for grassroots coaching football? See, the difference is always UEFA is rated higher because it comes from Europe. It depends on the country. If it's to me is I feel the UEFA one is, as I said, is rated higher around the world, but getting any license, I think, is good. Is having a license is, I think, a very important thing. Only when ISL top club beaten Bangladesh side, surprise or a standard fall down. Murali, I see it from a different perspective. I see rather that the standard in Bangladesh, especially in Bangladesh, has risen quite a bit, especially Basundhara Kings is a team. If they would be playing ISL, they would be a top side in the ISL. I think Basundhara Kings with their potential, most probably, for me, most probably is a top 4, top 5 side in the ISL. So therefore, I wouldn't be surprised. Losing to Mazia, yes, again, traveling to the Maldives, playing in the Maldives is always a tricky journey. But I don't think it's a downfall of standards of our clubs. It's rather a rise of them. There's a player from Sean Fernandez of SC Go who scored consistently 70 player problem scouting done on one tournament, which is full of frauds. Samit, the problem again, and we come back to that problem, right? That you are dependent on the scouting, which happens. The AFL at the moment have a pan-India system of scouting, and therefore you have to pick from whatever there is. So therefore, again, is it right? No, it's not. But is it the best? Most probably not. But this is the team which is going to go for India, and therefore, a problem at coaching. As I always say, we've got a problem at coaching. We have a problem at our competitions, and scouting is another headache of its own. Sports United says, sir, I am from Jamshedpur and I coached last season for the first half. Said that managing the balance sheet is more important for JFC. Does that mean is there any FFP in India? No, there's no FFP in India, but Sports United, what Scott Cooper as a coach, was trying to say most probably is that Jamshedpur doesn't want to spend too much of money on its squad. Very simply said, that they are of being there once in a while, maybe challenging for the top, but they are not going out of the way. Let's say like a Mr. Goenka of spending that much of money to build a squad, and that's the reason. Vibru, who do you think is going to leave, Vibin or Jeekson? One. If the Blasters can hold on to a player, I think they will try and keep Vibin. I think Vibin is a player that they can build a team around. A Malayali boy as well, could be their sort of new poster boy that they can build around. So therefore, very, very difficult to and therefore, for me, yeah, I think I mean, Jackson was looking to leave last summer as well, stayed on. So therefore, I would think Jackson would go first. But if there's a possibility, even in the long run, looks like the more talented of the two, maybe other clubs might go for them. So let's see what happens. Someone says they are taking players from Sudeva whose owner comes scout. Anuj Gupta says that defender, we need big midfielder, we need big forward faster than players like Franco Baresi, Luka Modric won't fit. Sambit, again, people have opinions. Are they right? Are they wrong? We can discuss it. There are a lot of ills in Indian football. Murali, do you think politicians hold key positions in Indian football the way they run administrations? Bad. What about world football? It's the same thing happening there. Yeah, I mean, politicians, key positions very often around the world. So therefore, not only football, but in sports. And therefore, I said yesterday that, sporting bodies, the way they're operated very often is not the best. That's a general problem we have in sports. So therefore, Indian football is not an anomaly. Indian football is the way, and that's a huge problem at the moment, massive problem. There was but Jamshedpur is owned by Tata, right? They can spend on football if they want. Yes, they could, but they're not. So that's the point, I think for me, could do more. Also, Tata Football Academy, which used to be the best academy in India, no longer seems to be that. So therefore, I think the Tatas in general could spend more on football. Yes, I would hope so, but they're not doing it at the moment for whatever reasons. How do you rate Indian football scouting? Poor or good? Morally, I think we are still not there when it comes. We're not good. We're not fully poor, but we are not good. Let's put it this way. Dev, do you think players like Apuya, Mahesh, Chankte, Sahal, Anwar are capable enough to play in second or third division of English League? Like few only to name who are technically good enough in national team. None of these players, I think, are in the Championship or League One in England. I think they would be most probably, realistically, most probably be League Two or maybe even National League, which is the fifth tier of English football. So therefore, there's a standard issue. Who's the most underrated player in India? See, Marai, that's a big question. Always very difficult to say who is, to me is, who could it be? Who could it be? If you ask me, who could it be? I would think, if I look at the teams, I'm just thinking. I think Putea would be the most underrated player in my opinion. If you ask me about an underrated player in an Indian football system, then I would say Putea is the most underrated player at the moment. Sadly, not being called up by Steve much. I would think that he would deserve a call up to the national team. If you ask me, yeah. Which ISL team has the best scouting team according to you? It depends if you're looking at senior or junior. At senior level, who am I gonna say? BFC is good. FC Goa is good. Let's see. Mumbai City as well at senior level. Mumbai City would be surely, my pick in that way. But even Chennai seem to be doing a good job this season. So therefore it shifts. But at youth level, I think FC Goa. Yeah, I agree with you. Sanskar FC Goa has a very good system. Chennai FC have used to a great effect. Okay. Grassroots infrastructure not good compared to senior. Morally, I think the grassroots infrastructure overall is not as bad as people make. I think if we compare ourselves to countries around the world, it is decent. I think infrastructure is not our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is grassroots coaching, scouting, competitions. If we can sort those things out, our football would be much, much better. I think that's the real challenge for Indian football today. That if we can get those things sorted, then Indian football can move forward. That's the challenge. That is the challenge that we have, and that's the challenge. So therefore, let's see. Udanta to Lush FC. Let's wait and see what happens. Sports United, sir, is Park Young-seo a good fit for our national team coach? Because right now we don't want just a manager who will groom players, but someone will also groom AFF. What's your view? I have conflicting views on the gentleman because, again, from the outside, there's a lot of good opinion about him, but I've heard other people as well who are from Vietnam who are not that convinced, and therefore I'm not sure. I don't have the perfect candidate in my mind at the moment. I have not read the name where I would say, bang on, this is the guy that I'd like to see as. Maybe that will come, but at the moment, let's wait and see what all names come into this race, into this conversation in regard to becoming India coach. Dev, it should serve as a wake-up call to us that all the SAF countries are calling up their as well players. I wouldn't be surprised if we're defeated Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Don't you think? Yeah, Dev, I've been saying was the one who started this whole topic of players of origin in 2001, took it to the AFF, and we tried to do something, and we've done it over multiple times over the last 23 years. Nothing has happened so far. So hopefully at some stage it will change. Ochud, welcome. Started, you could sense the ad hoc manner in which AFF and clubs were run. As for AFF, it seems deja vu in the last 1 year. Yeah, sadly, in the last, I would say nearly 2 years, if you ask me, it's gone back to the old ways and old days. Sorry. Rises, any chance ISL gets a title sponsor? At the moment, there is no, so therefore for me, I couldn't answer you that. At the moment, I don't see anyone coming forward. I would hope that there would be a sponsor for the ISL, because at the moment, I don't see a sponsor come forward. Shyam, hi, welcome back. How do you see the academy started with Ronaldo? FC Dinamo Tbilisi now have 11 players in Europe for Georgia, and we're playing as Portugal 6 years quite high. Do you know Tbilisi was not started by Ronaldo? Where do you have this information from? Do you know what Tbilisi is not the oldest club in Georgia? Why would they need Ronaldo for that? I think you saw the picture with Ronaldo and their kids when he went there once. But do you know Tbilisi has been a top side not only just in the days of Georgia, but even in the old Soviet Union. They were a top side in that country. So therefore they are the biggest. They're the most important club. So that's for such a club, it would be quite normal. Syed, the signing done by CFC this season are top notch. Yeah, totally agree, Syed. I mean, it looks like that Owen Coyle has gone on to try and be it Indians to try and be competing for a top spot, not only the playoffs. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. So therefore, it's an interesting scenario. Owen Coyle is trying to build something, and be interesting to see what the club can do, and therefore, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming days and weeks. So therefore, a lot of challenges, but CFC are doing very well. Which is, we need good coaches and referees training analogy. Would you send your kid to a school which does not have good teachers or infra? Yeah, that's the reality, right? Send their kids to football schools and academies without actually knowing how good or how bad it is, right? Some of them look at the infrastructure or look at, they've got balls and cones and whatever, and they're fine with it. You need to look at that. So, goal scoring, what about defense? Are we settled in the position? Are we still weak in defense? More, we are all over the pitch, not as good as we could be or should be. So therefore, yes, we have, except maybe goalkeepers, other positions, I think we need to look at every position in the Indian team. If India allowed, it can compete in top teams. Mural, I think we would be better. Yes, I think we could. I think we would have made at least the round 3. And to me, I think we would have gotten into third round of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, and maybe even more. But you know, so therefore, yeah. So what should be the criteria according to you to select a national team coach, Sports United? See, for me, and I've done a video on that. If you've not, a few days ago, my video 302, did two days ago, a short video, 4-minute plus video, where I say, what does the new Indian football national team coach need to bring? So to say the requirements, in my opinion, very simply said. I feel it needs to be a realistic team coach, needs to be realistic, needs to also needs an understanding of India, or maybe learn about India, needs to be unbiased, no nepotism, no, all these kind of aspects, and needs to be willing to tell the AFF if whenever he thinks and feels that things are wrong. So therefore, for me, that's something which is very, very important, and that needs to be looked at. So therefore, yeah, those would be the key criteria. And someone maybe, who doesn't need to be interacting too much with media. Media is fine, interviews and all that stuff. Social media, maybe not that important. So therefore, those kind of things may be more important. As Mumbai signing back Hardik Bhatt, don't know much about him. He's a good backup as right back. So he was there at Mumbai in the past. And, that's something. In 2013, the academy, according to 433 News, yeah, he inaugurated it, but he's not involved in it, right? So the club has been around for decades, and they most probably inaugurated, and for the inauguration, they most probably called Ronaldo to the inauguration. Dev Group Mumbai squad. This looks like it. They lost a lot of players, but also bringing a lot of players. I'm interested to see who is going to be the foreign striker that they bring in. So therefore, interesting to see how Mumbai in the end really shape up. Riser, do you think the City Group pumps money into Mumbai City FC and it makes an unfair playing field, especially for clubs like Punjab FC and Mohammedan Sporting? We can talk about that. We can talk about when it comes to who's spending how much of money or who's pumping how much of money into the system. According to me, it shouldn't be a matter of if a club is pumping in X or Y or Z. And it's normal in leagues, even though the ISL organs to sort of even out the playing field. So therefore, let's wait and see how it does. And again, PFC theoretically has enough money. Mohammedan, I don't know. Mohammedan still hasn't, I think, ensured its bank guarantee, which it needs to put on the table to be part of the ISL. Let's see. Monali, do you think people often expect unrealistic expectations? They will ask when India play World Cup right now, fast competing with Asian team, creating problems for. Yeah, that's the reality check. I always say, what can we realistically achieve? And for me, that's the most challenging of all. And to me, I think the challenge here is for football fans to be realistic of what we expect from an Indian team. When people talk about build up like this, build up like that, our teams are not in a position to do those kind of things. And therefore, we need to be realistic on that front. And therefore, if we don't do it, unrealistic expectations are created. And therefore, that's something which is going to be very interesting to see how football culture in India grows and how also in failure. I think that's something which is very, very important. We can lose, we can play in a certain way, but that if the team shows passion, if the team shows fight, if the team shows grit, and I think the Euros are a very, very good example. If I look at Georgia, massive success in regard to the results weren't the best, but the way they fought, the way they played, so therefore let's wait and see what happens. Debru says there are rumors of Pavlo Safranco. Wait and see again. what happens. Raza, even Goenka pumps money in Mohan Bagan Superchan. That is fair. Valid point, Sanskar. Thoughts on Jamshedpur? Harsha, we were speaking about Jamshedpur a little earlier on. I felt, it will be interesting to see. Khalid has extended his contract, and it will be interesting to see what the team now does. And the team behind the team does to build the team, the squad, and that's going to be an interesting challenge to see how Jamshedpur set. At the moment, they don't look to be a top 6 candidate, but I might be wrong. Debra said, if you see the squad value of Mumbai, they are behind Mohun Bagan, Super Giant, Kerala Blasters, so City Four is definitely pumping steam amounts of money. I would give it to the scouting of City Group more. I think Debra, very valid point. I think it's, very wise, and try to build something in the short and the long run. So therefore, that will be very, very interesting to see how they can, potentially the top and fight for the best top spots in Indian football. Sports United said, did you see the opening ceremony of CFA? It was much better than the opening ceremony of ISL. Should ISL also do such opening ceremony, or is it fine just the way ISL is doing now? Sports United, to me, ceremony or no, doesn't matter really. To me, it's more important how you organize the league, how you run the league. An opening ceremony is a nice thing to do, or even something for the final. It doesn't matter. For me, it's if it's a World Cup or Euros or whatever, this opening ceremony is nice. The most important thing is what happens on the field. Yes, I did see excerpts of what the IFA did yesterday. So therefore, they did a nice show. But the question here is, what are we going to do? How are we going to grow the game? That's the real question. For Jamshedpur, all eyes on 13th position on the table this year. I know the same thing last season, right? That it looks like that Jamshedpur are not going to be a good team, not going to be competitive. To me, they didn't do that badly in the last season. So therefore, let's wait to see. So therefore, let's wait and see. Since if City Football pump the money, then 22 will repeat when Mumbai City win double again. About doing the signing the right way. And that is, I think, a bigger difference than just talking about the money part. A lot of people talk about the money. And again, yes, Mohun Bagan is spending a lot of money. But I think Mohun Bagan could have done the same signing, for 20 money. I think they're overspending for the players that they have. So therefore, that's a challenge. After opening FIFA Academy in India, we are not still progressed in technical skills and overall football lacking. China progress way above us. Why? Only the academy has just been opened. Do you expect results in 3? This will take, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years for proper results to come out of that academy. Even if we give the finishing touches. And the first round of scouting, they turned down the players. These are all realities of what is happening in and around Indian football, and that's a huge problem. It will take time. Indian football is at a stage where things rebuilding and everything will take its time, and it's not something which will be sorted in the short term. It'll all need a certain level of structure to be taking things forward. So therefore, I think the Chinese have been doing certain things for quite a while now, and they're not there where they think they should need to be, and therefore it's something that we need to work on. And to me, that's a challenge. Sanskar, either will stay in the ISL. At the moment, it's not clear. As I've said a few times over the last few days, it's not clear at the moment because the so-called investor still is not there. Is whoever comes in, for me, whoever puts in the money. I mean, there's 75 crores in debt to run the team for the new season. You need another 30, 35, maybe 40 crores. Keep certain other organizational things running. So I'm talking already about 115, 120 crores if I want to keep, or even more if I want to keep Hyderabad FC running. So therefore, anyone wants to put in that money and get nothing as return on investment. So looks difficult for me. Indian football disaster AFC Asia Cup is because of less preparation time or main player missing or opponents superior than us. I think it's less preparation. I don't think is an main player missing is a problem that everybody has had. So therefore, those issues can't be sort of, you need to have a plan B. And for me, the three opponents were superior to us. Very simple. That's it. U20 team is only selected by that tournament where there's no player selected from after they didn't get the call up. See, RFTL, I think most players were above 20. I think a lot of players, we've had even, first team players playing in there. So most that would be the reason. Yon Tunal, good or bad deal for MCFC. Sanskar, the player hasn't been signed, but overall looks to be someone in the pedigree and the mold that Mumbai City would like. Again, with a background at Barca and Arsenal. So therefore, not a bad one. Sportsman, what's your thoughts on East Bengal this year about their signings and what the position where they should sign and whom should they sign? Sportsman, I would say first, they've done an excellent job in the attacking front. East Bengal has really done some good signings, with Diamantakos, Mehdi Talal, also bringing in David. So to me, the question is, can they sign the right players for the defensive unit regarding defense and holding six? I think that's going to be the question for East Bengal. If they can sign the right players, but otherwise, even in goalkeepers, they've got options. So therefore, East Bengal look a stronger squad. But the defensive side of things, they need to shore up. Otherwise, they'll be involved in many or numerous high-scoring games. Or else players from Muthoot, FA, East Bengal, and Punjab would have been called potentially with OFC now that they won't have the backing of the state government. Raisa, we still don't know if there won't be backing from the state government because I've still not heard anything in regard to backing or non-backing of the government. So therefore, it's not the time to speculate about the same. We can talk about it. Know about nothing, but I'd say that either the backing is there or the backing has been pulled off. So that's the, in my opinion, the status or the situation of this of the current, of what's happening around, OFC, because the government, I think Odisha has done so much in sports. If they don't continue with it, I think it would be a bleep for them rather than hope that they can and they would continue to support. Those of you watching who are new to the channel, please subscribe to arunfoot. Please, like the video, share the video, and and let others know that we're holding these kind of conversations on a regular basis. So. Says, please tell about transfers regarding European players, Brazil, Argentina, Peru, Chile, Copa American players. Bibu, I'm not that an expert on that. And again, there are enough channels and people out there talking about these kind of, only be talking about it. Again, little conversations on the Euros. Slovakia, Romania 0-0, Ukraine, Belgium 0-0 after 14 minutes. That's what I'll talk about, and on Indian football. Murali says Thomas Deneby should stayed long time in Indian football. Maybe he stayed for a while. Yeah, could he have stayed longer? Yes, most probably. Would be good for Indian football. But it's not the case, right? He's left, and now we need to find someone suitable for the future. That for me, I think, is the most important one. Deneby has done his job. Very honest. Thomas Deneby has done, in my opinion, a very, very good job over the years, and let's see. System exposing us in bigger tournament, as example in Uzbekistan match. Yeah, not only Uzbekistan, Australia, Syria, all these matches that are weakness, not only grassroots but that youth system as well in general is a bit of a problem. So therefore that is something that we need to rectify and improve. Any information about new coach? Nothing. Again, the application phase is on, so therefore there's no news on new coach. Sanskar bro, Mohan Bagan Subajan, after every season fall off overspending in a player, bro, they still not understand how to Mumbai City FC, and after that they don't spend that much. Yeah, agree. Morali, our player, instead of going to Europe for trial, they should go for Japan and Asian League. Morali, which player is going for trial to the European League? And secondly, which Asian player? No one is waiting for us. No one's waiting for our footballers. No one's waiting, that we are there and we need to be there in the world of football. Nobody's there. We are there, but we are nowhere at the moment. That's the problem. And again, with the salaries, if you look at, for example, Apuya, he won't move abroad. Makes no sense for him. So therefore, these are all realities, and therefore, it's very difficult to see Indian players going somewhere. But Japan, why wanted an Indian player? Why would a Southeast Asian club want a player? Why would a Middle Eastern club want an Indian player? Nobody's waiting for our players. Our players, it would be even difficult for quality star players of ours to go to a Bangladesh or to a Nepal or to a Maldives. Sign new club, okay. Vietnam football's gurus are good to run administration compared to India. Yeah, but again, even Vietnam has its up, now it's having a down again. Yeah, didn't qualify for the third round of the World Cup qualifiers, didn't do well in the Asian Cup. So you have your ups and downs. Vietnam has done well. Yeah, had a phase where they were doing well, not doing so well. So therefore, you've got ups and downs. And again, the overall structure in Indian football needs to grow, and that is the biggest challenge for Indian football. That Indian football needs to grow to a level where we can compete with the rest of the world. So therefore, that is going to be the biggest challenge for Indian football. So for me, if we don't change things in the short and the long term on these fronts, it will be very difficult for Indian football to compete. And therefore, for me, that's going to be the biggest challenge for us. If we don't make the right changes today, you will feel the problems in 10, 15, 20 years. Rectification at grassroots and youth football level, right? So therefore, that's something which I feel is, it's very difficult. But again, let's see how we can move forward. So therefore, that's something. Which coach? If you're saying Indian football national team, I surely would say Bob Houghton and Stephen Constantine, who I've worked with, or Islam Akhmedov at under 16, under 19 level, so at youth level. Those guys are the ones that I've worked with, I've been most impressed by. And not to forget Sukhvinder Singh in his own little ways. Much more simpler, much more easier, but totally different in those days. Sanskar, if players earning much than he deserves, then why will he leave India, and why will other league club will go for Indian player? Yeah, again, those are the questions, right? if you're going to earn 1/10th, 1/15th, 1/20th, or what do you think about going abroad? You will not. You will not consider it because it's financially not worthwhile for you to consider. So therefore we need to find means and ways of how to improve our football at an overall level. No? Otherwise, things will not improve, and that's the real in Indian football. No? Will be and the salaries have just exploded, and they're exploding more and more each year. So because the talent pool is also not expanding. So those are all interlinked questions that we have in Indian football, and which makes it very difficult for Indian football. And they are there to be seen, and therefore, hopefully, things will change. Again, the hope is the last thing that's left, because otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. That's why I did a video earlier today on the topic of age fraud. Where Mizoram has come out with a program, an amnesty program, and which I think is a very, very good step. So therefore, have a look at it. As Reliance concentrating grassroots level, more Reliance is doing work at grassroots and youth level. Grassroots, the Reliance Foundation. The Reliance Foundation Young Champs program is focusing on youth football. So yes, they are trying their part in regard to helping development of Indian football at that level. More giving 5-year contract to young players sitting in the bench most of the time, only play a few matches after they do. It happens not only in India, happens around the world, right? If I'm running a club, I would try and I would think that will be interesting to see, because it's something. If you're running a club and trying to have quality players on the bench, otherwise you don't have the backup, because you will have injuries. But are these young players, are these fringe players going to get enough time? That's the question, and therefore that challenge remains, and you can't stop that in a way. So yeah, that's something. You're not clear at the moment, Sanskar. That's the reality on the state of such a transfer or potential move by the club. So that's where we stand. Once again, those of you who haven't, I request again always to like, as Akshata loves to say, like this video, share this video for more people to potentially join in. We aren't as many as usual discussing this today, and those of you who haven't joined or subscribed to the channel, please do. Ishan says other teams haven't looked as promising in Euros. Germany look favorites. After the Switzerland match, yeah, I wouldn't fully say that. I think Spain looked very, very good in their 3 games. Spain looked very, very good. The disappointment so far would have been France, England, Italy. All these teams have really not performed to the level. I think the knockouts will restart the tournament. Portugal has looked good as well. So therefore, let's see when it starts in the knockouts, and then we've got some interesting games, and then we'll see how good they are. Austria, of course, very, very strong. Austria winning against Netherlands in style. Ralf Rangnick proving a point, especially I think to people how good a coach he is, and it shows how rubbish Man United are, how difficult it is to be managed. And therefore that's the thing. Directly to answer you. So one serious question: how long has Southgate held onto his job for this long? Ishan, the same question: how could Igor Stimac hold on to his job so long? I mean, you can say I don't have that much of a talented squad. And Slovakia take the lead 1-0. Duda, and it's one of those great. Only one ISL player you thought needs to make Indian football debut. Putia. That's the player that I would like to see. Deepak Das, welcome back. How long do you think this Igor AF saga gonna? It might be 6 months, a year. I don't know until they fought it out in court and it has been sorted. Iceland have done a good job with the limited resources compared to India. Murli, they have done an excellent job. They have done an excellent job. Iceland with whatever they have, um, spend quite a bit of resources and manpower to build what they've built. Rudra, can Jose Molina manage efficiently with big names like Petros, Apuya, Anwar Sahal, Thapa, McLaren, Cummings, or deserve better coach? That's a good question, Rudra, which I can't answer to you at the moment because, again, Molina has not coached for 5-6 years. That's the one. Very successful in his first stint at Mohun Bagan Supergiant, did very, very well with them. Can he repeat that? That's going to be the question, and potentially can. So therefore, I'll be very interested to see how he does, but it's not easy. We saw that with that squad, and then Habas sort of salvaged the season. Let's wait and see what. Deepak Das, I wonder if Mohun Bagan checked Apuya's exam schedule before acquiring services. What if they have to play an ISL game, but Apuya has to take an exam? Deepak, I've said this. If I, go back rightly, I think he missed one of the ISL games for Mumbai City because of an exam. Vignesh, Indian football need a football guru. Appoint one. Sir, don't you think Putia should be tried as a box-to-box midfield, and at the same time fills in gaps like Suresh? Yeah, national team, you mean? I agree. He could be that player. But he could be also a defensive holding midfielder. Yeah, I think, again, that's what I'm saying. Putia would be the one player that I would love to see in the national team. Murali, Brandon and Suresh, what are the major differences? Technical skills. Brandon is much more skillful than Suresh. Suresh is more of a, so therefore, that would be something. He's more skillful, certainly, and therefore, again, you're talking about two different types of players. Everybody talking about Mbappe, Vinny, Holland, Arda Güler, Xavi Simons, but I think Doku can be a future Ballon d'Or. Yeah, potentially. Don't forget me, Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz as well in this discussion. So we've got a lot of potential upcoming talent. Sanskar, Mohun Bagan Supergiant coach, big job is handle so many ego players and dugout situation. If he can handle dugout situation more, I'm beatable, but if he will not, then Mohun will struggle. Yeah, let's wait and see. Maman Gokhale, Onabo, were we actually good during the Intercontinental Cup Tri-Nation? Was it the best football we have played? I can only talk about the SAF Championship semi-finals and finals, which I watched against Lebanon and Kuwait, and we were not that good. I thought technically Kuwait and Lebanon were better than us. Penalty shoots out saved us. So we had a little bit of luck. Also, luck is a factor in football. And we were not as good. I've seen much, much better India teams. I've not been impressed. The results were good, and I'm fine with the results. But again, if the coach is talking about a certain style of play, then it will not work. Which is the best international team game you have before? Certainly the Asian Cup match, 6th of June 2019 in Abu Dhabi, India versus Thailand, 4-1. That second half, wow. Ishan, I was generally surprised by this turn. Sure, they have had enough of mud thrown at them. Some deserved, some exaggerated. Ishan, it was a perfect answer. In my opinion, I said it yesterday on Hiren's channel. I said it on my own channel as well. I thought it was a very, very well worded, very, very well crafted response by the AFF. And I think, I think, the AFF have done their mistakes. But the business mistake of the AFF has been to extend the contract of this gentleman X number of times. So therefore, that's the big problem. Tushar, thoughts on a new Eagles team match in Ranjit Bajaj? I have not seen it, Tushar, so I can't tell you anything. Ishan, will you be watching the knockout game for Germany in the stadium? I hope I'll be on Saturday in Dortmund for Germany versus Switzerland. Germany versus Denmark. So yeah, let me wait and see. Sunday I was supposed to be in Frankfurt, but I couldn't go. So therefore, let's see what happens. So for right now, better administration in India, soon or later they will beat us. It's not about the administration. I think it's about the football impact of origin players and the Bangladesh government showing interest, especially in the women's game. Sheikh Hasina herself is showing interest in the women's game, and that's why it's happening. So Mullo, don't you think for a new club after Puya's arrival last season didn't get many chances, but this season Puya's there? Shumullo, potentially yes, potentially no, because of the salary that he's getting. I think that's the big problem of Anirudh Thapa. He's one of the highest paid footballers in India. The club who's going to give him anything close to what he's getting at Mohun Bagan will be very, very difficult. So therefore, I don't know. Could happen. Let's see. Darknet, why Tata not focusing on Tata? They are, but they're focusing less on it because they're spending a lot on Jamshedpur FC, even though they're not spending as much as other teams. But they are spending. Who could potentially be the breakout team in ISL this year? Oh, difficult to say. I'm interested to see. Chennai to me could be a title challenger potentially. I'm interested to see how Punjab rebuild, because Punjab is also going for a full rebuild. Let's see. Jigson Singh, your thoughts on him? Jigson, one of our best midfielders. He's got height. He's got that physicality aspect to him. So therefore, one of our better players, certainly. Pro, what 9 players? Big money or convincing talent? I think it's a question of who you are. If you're fighting for the title, you will need the money aspect. Yeah. So therefore, and on the other side, convincing is, I think, the management and what are you trying to build? What are you trying to do? Which Indian football player do you think capable of playing 2-3 division Europe football? I think second and third division, we don't have players at that level. I think Jangte is most probably a standard player, but that would be sort of fringe leagues in Scandinavia or somewhere, or somewhere in Eastern Europe, but otherwise very, very difficult. Somehow or the other got disconnected. Sorry for that. Okay, I'll try and check it out. Udanta OC, that talk on this deal. See, Udanta hasn't had the best of seasons at FC Goa. I don't know if Manolo wants to keep him for another year or not, and then therefore maybe has to look at options. Odisha will be looking for wingers potentially, so therefore to see if Udanta stays or if Udanta moves. Ishan, the biggest problem for On Call will be choosing the forward line. Two foreign strikers, Irfan, Rahim, Farouk, and now Kian. I see Kian replacing Nintoido. You've forgotten Gurkirat. There's a Gurkirat is in there. And interesting will be, again, Irfan, Rahim, if they're going to stay, or Farouk, if all of them are going to stay, or one or two might be leaving. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. But Odisha at the moment, let's wait and see. Shomol, unofficial Romelu Lukaku is the highest goal scorer in Euro 2024, this time with 3, has disallowed, 3 of the goals. So therefore, we are, bad luck. I think Romelu Lukaku deserved the one with a goal, but didn't get them. And that's football, I guess. Bro, I'm talking about Mohun Bagan. See what they need, money or convincing player talent. See, Mohun Bagan does it with money more than anything else. And Mumbai City talk about, trying to convince players and talent. So therefore, different approaches. When you say Indian players are overpaid, what about Europe and other parts of the world? Are they getting same salary? Moral, you're comparing, I'm talking about the standard of football. If an Indian player gets the salary of some players who are playing at the Euros. But to me, not, and Sanskar says it well, Murari Bhai, our players are not European level again. And that comparison, European, African, South American, North American, that comparison is wrong. So, yeah, that's the thing. So, penalty for Romania after VR check. And that's the 1-1. Slovakia, Romania 1-1, which again changes things in this group. Those two teams would go through with this result. Abhishek, what would be the new format of ACL? Does it have 3 tiers? Like it'll have 3 tiers. It's FC Champions League Elite. It has a second tier called AFC Champions League 2, and then we'll have the AFC Challenge Cup below it. Dark Knight, thank you. What are your thoughts on E-League? How do you rate it Asian level? E-League is a top league in an Asian context. It's not one of the best, but it's one of those which. Ishan, do you think Grealish's exclusion was a mistake? He has got pace and at the same time is creative in the final third. Ishan, I think the exclusion of Grealish wouldn't have made a difference if the players would be able to play to the standard that they're capable of. Harry Kane, nowhere to be seen. Jude, the future Ballon d'Or winner, nowhere to be seen. Saka, nowhere to be seen. Phil Foden, nowhere to be seen. And then you have the situation, Yeah. Shomola, sir, which Euro team impressed you so far other than the top 15 Euro ranked team? Ralf Rangnick, who I've interacted, and his Austrian team, that impressive 3-2 against the Netherlands. And also, despite the 1-0 loss to France, I thought Austria were the strongest team in that group. So, yeah, they're on top of it. So, yeah. Deepak Das, I feel East Bengal will definitely play semi-finals this year. Let's wait and see, Deepak. East Bengal attacking has done very, very well. Now they need to reinforce their defense. If East Bengal can sort out their defense, the team to reckon with of playing in the ISL playoffs. Sambit, what was the excuse of not selecting any player from Dream Sports Championship promoted that the tournament will have AF scouts? Maybe they were sleeping. Sambit, again, good question, very good question. Who was there? Who wasn't there? Were they not? Were they not happy? Might have been an issue of overage. Whatever, could be. I wasn't there, so again, these are questions ideally which needs to be asked to the AFF and how they do their scouting. Morally, why football top country or not Brazil, Argentina, because less money, our league not competitive. Yeah, the European leagues are normally the highest payers, or now you would say the Saudi league is the highest payer, but these are the leagues, and therefore, yeah, let's see. Shomna, do you see India making to AFC Asian Cup 27? At the moment, let's see which group we get, and then we can talk about it. Because if we get an easy group, I would say yes. If not, we have to top the group. I want to see how the new coach takes over and what he does. So therefore, at the moment, I find it a difficult task. I hope India's going to be there, but I don't know. J League 2 second division of Japan, Dark Knight, no, we're not. Why would a J League 2 club take an Indian player? This thought process of us going to other countries in Asia, why? What's the reason? Would anyone take us? Are we that good that they would take us? No, they will not. You know? Which club play best in the transfer market? Again, we'll have to see it from season to season. At the moment, so far in the transfer market, I would say Chennai have done a very good job. Do you think Belgian golden generation fallen down? Morally, the golden generation of Belgium has never, have never achieved the potential showed. I think that's the biggest problem that Belgium has, that their golden generation has a potential which I think most countries would love to have, but they've never fulfilled that desire, that potential. And therefore, for me, yeah, Belgium is one of the biggest disappointments in world football over the years, because with all the potential that Belgium has shown, therefore, let's see. In Group E, all teams finish 4 points. Yeah, Sanskar, that's the situation at the moment. Slovakia, Romania 1-1, Ukraine, Belgium 0-0. So therefore, at the moment, looks like that Ukraine would be losing out on a spot in the round of 16. So that's the situation. Somnath, do you see AFF Academy setup previous year making any difference in coming years regarding technical proficiency? AFF Academy are you talking about? AFF doesn't have an own academy at the moment. They have the FIFA Academy, which is still not operational. So therefore, there's no AFF Academy which is going to make a difference anytime soon. I don't know which academy you're talking about, but that does not exist per se. Yeah, at the moment. So therefore, that's another reality. Sorry, one more sip. For those of you who are not subscribed, who haven't subscribed to arunfoot here on YouTube, please do. Those of you who haven't liked the video, please do. And those of you who want to please spread, let me also know. Let's see what happens. But please like, share, and subscribe. One thing disappoints most about Indian football, we think it can improve. Morally, I've been involved indirectly and directly in Indian football over the last 26 years. I still have hope that it will change for good at some stage. That's everything else is gone, but at least hope is still there. So therefore, that's the challenge that I see, and yeah, hopefully it will improve one day. That's the hope that is there. So therefore, let's see. The hope is the one thing that I never lose when it comes to Indian football, because if I lose hope, then nothing is left. Even in this chaos and everything, again, with all the problems, of course, I have kind of impact than a general fan, because I've tried to influence things in a positive way, which of course is not always easy, but I still do. Pick up a bruised nose here or there, but I will still do it, and I will do it for the right reasons. A lot of people don't do it for the right reasons, so that's most probably the difference. So therefore, I always say, guys, please spread these conversations, get more people to know what we're doing here, get your friends involved, and yeah, let's grow. Sir, how do you see statements made by Puya that he's been called, I don't understand, and others are small clubs like that? I think he needs to be more respectful. Way too much hype have got him. Shem, again, he was asked the question, was it a wise answer? I would say no. He said it. And I think if East Bengal likes it or not, he has put, pointed in a wound of the East Bengal fans that as much hype that has been created about Apuya potentially joining the club. And I've said this all this while that for Apuya to join East Bengal makes no sense. It just, you know, and if you compete with Mohun Bagan, they are not competing with Mohun Bagan when it comes to success and potentially, challenging for titles and all. East Bengal needs to get into a position to be challenging Mohun Bagan and Mumbai City. If they get into that position, then players like Apuya will join them. But East Bengal is still in a building up phase, and that needs to be. Even Belgium can finish 4 in table if they lose to Ukraine. That will be very shocking. Sanskar, that can happen, right? So one goal this way, that way, anything can happen in that group. That makes it so exciting, I guess. Ishan, there's some nice visuals coming through in the media regarding this edition of Euros. It's like a party-like feeling for all of Germany, more than fans of other countries. I think the feeling overall is nice. It's good, but it's not overall. Again, it's good for Germany. And again, yes, the Dutch have been crazy. The Scots have been. I've seen that myself in Cologne. Or even Düsseldorf, it was insane. Even the German fans have been good. So therefore, yeah, it's a good vibe. It's a nice vibe atmosphere. Monali, India struggling to beat South side is good sign or bad, or else other teams are improving. See, Monali, what I said, the others are improving. We need to improve as well. Again, you cannot be stagnant. That's the challenge. So therefore, I hope that Are you looking forward to result-oriented coach or someone trying to instill something new? Shomnath, for me at the moment, looking at the team, trying to instill something new will not happen at this stage. I think and I've said this, there's a video on my channel. Watch it. I want a pragmatic coach who realizes what kind of player material he has, and in that way is able to build. That's the best way I can say it. Bro, do you think fans are also reason Indian downfall? I understand for some players, but Thapa, Sahal, Manvi, Liston type players do not deserve that much hype that get. Sanskar, I think the hype, again, it's not only the hype around the players. I think of hype around the Indian national team last year after the SAF Cup victory. Fans wanting India to play the Asian Games is a problem. For me, that's a problem because we should not have been a focus. That was the focus suddenly of the AFF and of the national team coach and Mendoza, Chennai FC player, my favorite. Which one best you most? Yeah, Mendoza was certainly one of the special players in season 1. Diego Forlan would be another one. So there are quite a few, I would have said, over the years. Nicola Anelka would be one. Nicolas is someone that I worked with, and I had. Does Apuya got any offer from other foreign clubs or only from Mohun Bagan? Abhishek, he had no foreign offers. So who's your favorite in football of all time? Oh, that's a good question. Who would it be amongst the players that I have seen? See, I would say and everything, and he's also a good friend. I would say Randy Singh would be my favorite player. If India failed to qualify for AFC Asian Cup 2027, then I would stop following them. Dark Knight, this is a real danger. So to me, that's an honest and real danger. Sanskar Ismail finished 9, even newcomer Punjab finish over them. Then how can people expect ISL Cup champion Apuya would come? He's being on reject shield when was exactly. Position to think we are not settled. I think overall the field we need to look at, how to be better and how to improve. Morally, and I've said that, right? Defense is an issue. Midfield we need to see, and we need to build overall in the field. You take it as getting better or stagnant. Shomnath, sometimes what matches you feel, oh God, you were getting worse, and then you feel stagnant. It's improving, but it's not improving fast enough, in my opinion. How do you rate Bhutia football team versus current team? I would rate the Baichung team higher than the current team because I know the passion, the love, and the interest of the team. I mean, I've traveled, so therefore, for me, that team, from a passion perspective, would be higher rated than the current team. That, if you ask me, to give you an honest opinion on things, Samit, does it even matter the cities? Stop. I don't know, Sambit. You know, you know. So therefore, for me, if ISL stops, then it's not only Mumbai. It's in numerous clubs which were. If Reliance opts out of uh, working with ISL, I don't know where we are heading. I think that should be the question that Indian football fans need to ask. Apart from money, what do you think that Apuya reason to go to Mumbai instead of Mumbai City? Abhishek is asking. It is the money. It's start ending of this transfer is about money. Every position is not settled. I agree. Sanskar ISL trophy is on the basis of foreigners. Do agree. Abhishek, does Mumbai City send the Indian players to try any other city football? They have. Apuya was sent 2 years ago, but but after that, nothing has happened because I think the city football group clubs also realize what the standard of Indian football is. I think that's the question. Our players are not good enough for city. That's the problem. India first win against Qatar was inspiring. Somnath, we were playing kids. If you find that inspiring, good night for Indian football. We are playing kids. That's the reality. We were not playing a senior team. We're playing kids. Under 23 and under 20 kids of Qatar. That is my of what we were facing and what we were playing. So these are the realities, right? So therefore, much more needs to happen. Much more needs to come out of these teams. It's a huge challenge, and I hope at some stage things change for good. But there is a lot to be done. In my opinion. We don't have a replacement. That's a major problem in football. I think forget the replacement. We should improve with every generation, right? And I don't have that feeling at the moment that the next generation that is coming up is improving. I think we've been stagnant for a while at international football, and that's a huge concern in my opinion. So I hope that things improve at some stage. Samit says Apuya should be ready to face the consequences when it goes either way. You don't play with flame. See, the point is Apuya has taken money, right? So, and lots of players around the world decide on money, staying with what you have. So to me, he's gone to Mohun Bagan. He's a quality player. He's one of my favorites of the current generation. Most probably my favorite besides Changte, and he will have to prove. There's a lot of pressure will be on him to perform, and let's see. I wish him the best, and I hope he performs well. Your thoughts on Oman football, Murali? I don't know enough to be able to judge Oman football. How does Minerva contribute to Indian football? Raisa, they've brought up a lot of players, so that's the way they've done it. To be asked, which are not being asked. Sambit Apuya was the man of the match in ISL final, almost replaced Vanif, who was key player for MCM. Apuya stop hole in the mid. Kauko, Sahal, Dimi, Thapa. So how can you say more depend upon foreign? Yeah, interesting. Kind of underused the players available in his rosters and players didn't deliver to. I wouldn't say underused. I think the reality is that we don't have the players to really come in and be better than those who are playing. That is something I think which the fans also need to realize. It's not XYZ player comes in and will be better than those who are playing. I think Keith has proven it in recent matches. Rahul Baker has proven it in recent matches. That's the problem with it. Sambit, I don't have any problem choosing Mohun Bagan or Mumbai City. I have problem making statement which are controversial. Sambit happens, yeah. Robertson came back from South. It's not Robertson, I think Henderson. Yeah, it didn't work out for him. He left. Happens. How did Apuya played against Asia Cup? I can't see him. Is he good enough for Indian level? Sure, he is, but not more than that. I think somebody could be better than that. For that, things need to happen. So for me, Apuya needs to work, and I would have liked him to go abroad and get better, but he chose again, and that's his right. Is his right. I don't like it. Maybe you don't like it. Someone else doesn't like it, but he's chosen something, and he has to live with it. How to increase the talent in football? Please tell, sir. Dark Knight. It's I think uh, uh, not so easy, but again, actually, it's simple. Yeah, because I would do two, three things. One thing, focus on grassroots, focus on youth football, improve my coaching, and then wait for the results. That's going to be the easiest one. Apuya's statement is for marketing. Yeah, Sanskar, I agree. 1 hour and 40 minutes plus, guys. Thanks a lot once again for joining in this discussion on a hot and warm Wednesday night here in Germany. Those of you who please do. Those of you who haven't liked this video, please do. So maybe more people can watch it. And I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow. I'll surely try to be back on Friday. And I think I'll be doing tomorrow a video on this whole Apuya transfer, talking about it. And yeah, and as always, keep supporting Indian football. Don't stop supporting Indian football. Come forward, support Indian football in its best possible way. And I'll be back very, very soon. Good night, everyone.